Invincible co-creator Robert Kirkman stands by race swapping in Amazon's animated adaptation. We have to recognize that a couple of dumb white guys made this comic back in the early 2000s. Well, since you admit to being a dumb white guy, maybe you should quit messing around with things. According to the series co-creator Robert Kirkman, the decision to race swap a number of core characters in Amazon's animated adaptation of Invincible was born out of his personal belief that he and artist Ryan Ottley failed to make the original comic sufficiently diverse, particularly for modern audiences. No matter how many times you tell these people that nobody gives a shit and that we like the source material, they're just not going to listen. I genuinely don't understand why they think they have to go back and change everything that made the thing successful in the first place. So if you didn't read the comic, they did at least race swap 3 core characters in this series. And I'm going to bounce around between a couple articles here just so you can see the differences. So the first one was Amber Bennett, right? Now let's see, we have the comic versus the TV series. So in the comic, she's a blonde white chick. And in the TV series, she's some random black chick. So like any good woke person, you can't just change their skin color, you've got to change how they act, because they've got to be stronger. Rather than the Amber who, though always fearful for her safety, was always understanding of her one-time boyfriend's superhero lifestyle. Amazon presented audience with a version of the character who took outright offense to the fact that Invincible did not reveal his secret identity to her after just a few weeks of dating. I mean, if you have a secret life-destroying thing, you probably don't want to tell people that, after knowing them a week or two. But then again, since these guys probably never had a date in their life, they don't understand. Core character number 2, Mark's mother, Debbie. Where their comic book selves were both white, their animated incarnations have been explicitly confirmed as being Korean. And going get back between the comic and this series, there was no other reason to do it than diversity. I mean, hell, she almost looks the same as being Asian in the TV series as she does white. But here's what Kirkman had to say. Representation is something that's been really important to us. Then why wasn't it in the original? Why wasn't it in there? We have to recognize that a couple dumb white guys made this comic book in the early 2000s, and there was a real lack of diversity in the series. No one fucking cares. Leave this shit alone. And also with the Invincible character himself, we talked to fans at all the conventions and places we would go, and because his ethnicity was ambiguous in the comics, everyone identified with him. No, that's not why they identified with him. They identified with the character. They identified with what he was going through, the emotions behind it, not because of his skin. These people literally see nothing but skin color. That's the true racism of it all. We would have Filipino fans come up and say, I'm so excited that you made Mark Filipino. We would have Mexican fans come up and say, we're so excited that you made Mark Mexican. I guarantee you nobody said that. I guarantee it. I think representation matters, not to get on a soapbox or anything. That is exactly what you're doing. You're getting up on a soapbox, especially in the world of superheroes. You don't start getting non-white superheroes regularly until the 70s. Even then, through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, they're still somewhat rare. There's not a lot of these characters to this day. That's a different race. Bullshit. There are plenty out there. You just don't want to get down off your soapbox and talk about it. So this retard goes on to say, and it was just amazing to see how important representation is on a personal level when you're face to face with a person. Nobody cares. Because I grew up at a time where I went to see Rambo and Die Hard and Terminator and every movie that came out when I was a child. And I watched a bunch of tough white guys do cool stuff. Danny Glover was an action hero. What the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, this is a lot of fun. And you end up being in this bubble where you have no awareness of what it's like to live in a world where you're not seeing yourself reflected and all of these other things. These fucking retards have their heads so far up their asses, they have no idea what's even going on now. So to be able to, in any small part, work against that is a tremendous honor, the writer concluded. Fuck off. So here's the poster for the November 3rd release. I'm not going to watch this since this dude can't keep his mouth shut and keep his political beliefs to his damn self. Which, if I'm being completely honest, I think I only watched 3 episodes, maybe, of this series. I was not impressed with it at all. Like, I saw the memes. I understood some of the memes. I just didn't care. But guys, leave me a comment in the comments section. What do you think of this retard not being able to keep his mouth shut? While you're there, drop me a like, make sure you share, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.